my first bit of cardio done. I may only do a short one here, get this walk in. I'm going to need to get in on the bike. It looks like it's definitely going to rain here. So, and plus I really need to cross promote. And it's going to be loud. There are already people out here doing lawn stuff. I don't know what that device is, but it's really loud. So, hopefully we maintain a connection here. It's already showing 1 bar. So, we'll see if we get a decent stream going, but if not, if it starts just cutting out, I'll go inside, take a quick shower, get on my bike and everything, and we'll get it going. But either way, I'm probably going to need to do most of this cardio this morning on the bike, and that's okay. We accept that. Just accept that for what it is. So back over to this conversation. Where we at? Our workout went good. I threw together too, just morning talking, a bunch of people asked me, how would I program some full body for intermediates? And I kind of made a video just breaking down a couple different options, more or less what I would prescribe. And then I kind of said I was thinking of doing some of it myself. And I decided to go ahead and just do the Widowmaker squat and then follow it up with high rep pullover. Again, kind of keeping with this theme of what we're doing. But yeah, so we're going to try to get tons of cardio in now. All the lifting's done for the week. We have the weekend coming, so we're going to cardio it up and try to see if we can get everything tighter. Obviously, we still have the fat and loose skin around the waist, but I'm getting better at the vacuums I'm doing every morning, by the way. So I feel like that's going to help with, that ability to create that smaller waist, which is what we need for that old school bodybuilding look. And that's going to be pretty much the goal. So for me, it's going to be just getting leaner, getting the waist smaller, then doubling down on the arm work. But I'm letting a lot of my training kind of reflect the methods those guys did. So kind of why did I do the breathing squats? Because that was kind of one of the old methods the guys used to use, and because they loved to do the pullovers, they felt like it helped them open up the rib cage, suck the gut in and everything, and helped with the vacuums. Doing it after breathing squats, taken like to failure, really forces you to have full lungs, and all the area is pumped and full of blood, and you're struggling to breathe. So then to do pullovers immediately after that, like 20, 30 seconds later, to do a set of pullovers, like a really hard set of pullovers, in theory makes it more challenging. So it went pretty well. So it's stuff that's interesting to do. Some of the really old school methods those guys believed help with creating that look. And I don't worry about silly stuff like not building my chest. The bigger the pecs, the better. Doesn't matter. And just keep working arms. Right? Hello, how you doing, Orion? So again, we'll see what we get for people in here. And like I said, we may not be able to keep a good connection because it's starting later. So the training days, a lot of times I may just have to do it all indoors. So, what's going on, guys? My neighbor's out riding bikes. My next door neighbor's and the president of the homeowners association. I know all those guys. So, first like, how you doing, Peppermint? Got a good workout in. So I kind of did today, and you guys will see when I put the video up later, Peppermint, I kind of gave some stuff and options for intermediate full body programs. I went ahead and did a Widowmaker squat, a breathing squat, and then followed it up with pullovers. But I did 20 reps with 70 pounds of plates immediately after. Hypothesized coach, I've been on the fluffier side, 15 to 25% body fat, been lifting for 10 years. My main lifts are like 150 kilogram. Floor press, 185 squat, 235 deadlift. If I were to cut to 15% body fat, do you think I'd still be able to progress on these lifts? No, you're going to regress on some of them because, and how do I put this? It's not purely muscle strength. When we're at gaining body fat, your fat gives leverages, right? Therefore, the muscles do not have to work as hard to move the same weight. Does that make sense? So, I mean, if you're 30% body fat and you cut to 15%, your lifts are going to go down. It's just unavoidable. The exception being a novice lifter, right? Because you have new gains. You don't have new gains, right? So, coach hitting the widowmakers, yeah. So, I mean, and I'm just telling you how it is, but that's okay. Here's the thing to think about. Do you really want to walk around at 25 or 30% body fat, knowing it's unhealthy, knowing it doesn't look good, you know, purely for the sake of holding on to those lifts? So that's the decision you have to make, you know. So it's something you have to think about. But no, I mean, they're obviously going to go down. Am I saying you can't ever progress back to them or higher? Well, you just got to keep putting in the years. But, you know, you got to be realistic about that. Yeah, I agree. The pullovers help with the vacuums. How about you? Feed Me. Mortal says, I managed to PR the deadlift almost 2 weeks without doing it. Should I have gotten weaker? I pushed. No, you shouldn't have necessarily. Yeah, it's probably going to rain here shortly. Peppermint's probably going to rain. So I'm going to be doing the other cardio on the bike after this, guaranteed, because I need to get a bunch done. Appreciate the answer, just mostly wishful thinking. Nobody want to lose strength. But the way to think about it, are you really losing strength? I mean, if you're keeping your muscle, you're still keeping the muscle aspect. You're just losing the squish from the body fat. And that's, I think, what keeps a lot of us. That's always, I'm going to be frank with you. I have to take that attitude because that has always been a hang up for me on getting really lean, is that not liking the loss of the quote unquote strength from the fat. On the other hand, though, I was happy today. So I did that Widowmaker squat and that high rep pullover, right? So my chest was fatigued. Did a set of deadlifts to failure. I did a set of bench to failure. Then I decided, let's see if we can still bench 315 flat back, right? Because I did 245, I got 11 reps. So I was only getting 10 to failure last time. I got 11 reps with it and then failed rep 12. So I'm like, let me just throw 315 on the bar and just straight up flat back it. Like no belt, no wrist wraps, and completely flat back. And I got a double, paused, and got a double, racked it. And I'm like, we still got that in spite of the cutting. So I was happy with that. You know, I was happy with that. But yeah, everything else workout went pretty good today. Coach still got it. I mean, I feel like the same thing. As soon as I get done with the cutting, it's kind of like, here's the thing, even if I were to trim all the way to 185, the main thing would be, can we still hit the dad bod strength standards? Now that would be an interesting challenge. Me to get up to 50 and get to 85 and to just walk in and still hit that basic dad bod challenge, you know, regularly. After selling his company, Arthur Jones did the only do weighted chin-ups and dips for upper body, you would be fine. I mean, yeah, he no longer had a stake in the game with all those machines. Realistically speaking, though, is he wrong? I'd throw in a pullover. Like if we were going to take the big barbell movements out though, would the average guy, if they just did weighted chins, weighted dips and pullovers, have a pretty good upper body? I think they would. You know, oh man. Yeah. I mean, all things considered. I mean, I'm obviously still doing curls and doing a little bit of shoulder work and other stuff and benching. But, you know, realistically, I feel like the physique is better, but I think people forget, what was I mostly doing for my upper body. Like on that picture, that green screen picture I put up, and everyone's like, your arms look big there, bigger. I'm crap, guys. I was doing no arm work during that time at all. I wasn't even doing chin-ups. I was doing pull-ups, like with a neutral grip, dips, and then lots and lots of pressing. You know, when I say pressing, though, I mean everything. I was closed grip benching, I was incline benching, I was overhead pressing. But outside of those, the only thing, I was just doing dips and pull-ups with a chain around my neck. You know, I don't think that torso dominant is a thing, meaning people are mistaking muscle with bone. So here's what that really means. It's not necessarily having more muscle. Not that my muscles grow easier, it's just my rib cage. I have a ridiculously big rib cage and wide collarbone. Like I looked like I lifted walking around before I lifted. I mean, and I hate to say that because I love to sell my horrible genetics. It's like one of my selling points. People thought I worked out before I worked out. So keeping in mind, I was a distance runner at 170, not touching a weight. When I dropped down to 170, I had a 30-inch waist. Even my pants and blue jeans were all 30-inch waist blue jeans, and they were loose. Weighing 170, doing no lifting at all. I wasn't a lifter, I was just a runner. I did some push-ups and stuff, if that counts. Yeah, perceptive people, yeah. So I mean, that's why that stuff comes really easy. That's why it's like, I build that torso thickness really easy. So that's why, again, once I get leaner and the waist gets smaller, I do the vacuums, I'm in a good spot. You know, my calves are about an inch bigger since I started lifting. So, you know, but you got to look at my family, right? Bigger rib cage, like all my cousins and stuff are jacked. You strike me as someone who's naturally, yeah, no, I was. So same thing with the squat, Peppermint. I've said that before. My first day in the gym, I hit a 2-plate per side back squat. I was being taught how to squat. And I got up to 2 plates because we did 185 and it just wasn't that heavy. I was able to do reps. And so cousin kept adding weight. We got to 225 and I was able to grind out really ugly. But that was my first time under a squat bar. You know, so yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I've always been naturally strong. So good morning to you, Carol. Carol, we're going to do a lot of Facebook here coming up because I'm going to do bike more. I'll have to do bike later this morning to get all the cardio in. So be sure you come in there later. But see what you're saying by torso dominant, what you really just mean is I have a big rib cage. Like, I will never have a small torso, even after I'm buried in the ground. You know? But yeah. But I did some more of the little side chest and stuff, so we'll have those up for pictures later. But yeah, you just gotta hammer the cardio hard now. You just gotta get leaner. That's really all I have to do at this point. Let's just get leaner, get the waistline tighter, get the loose skin tighter, and do my best to try to build any arm I can. But you know, the workouts are good. I'm gonna push hard. I did some calf work also today. I threw some calves back in. All right, come on, Jason. I have a somewhat small rib cage where my arms do fine just hitting major compound lifts. I'm confused. What's your take? Yeah, I mean, in the case of you, if you want to be proportionate, like quite frankly, if you guys have a small rib cage, I would honestly live on pull-ups and dips and things. Pullovers, I would live on those things, right? Guys like me need to do more arm work because, you know, our torso is going to be so big in comparison, you know. But yeah, so in your case, the struggle is going to be building all the muscles of the torso. So just hammer them all the time, right? But the other thing is, I would say, does that even matter if you're not going to compete in bodybuilding? I mean, I don't know that it's a big deal. But realistically, sure, people can just rotate through to avoid overuse variations of those other things. I mean, really. But I just wouldn't have anyone take curls out. You know, I just feel like probably everyone should do some curls. Every guy needs to, because if you don't, you're always risking the arms not being big enough. Even though, ironically, I don't know that curls have actually done much of anything for me. And people were like, your arms look bigger, when I wasn't doing any curls or even supine grip bends. That's kind of frustrating, though, that people said that. I kind of laughed. But a bodybuilding friend of mine looked at it and said, no, your arms are bigger now. It's just you have some fat there, and it's the angle they're bigger. His opinion, even in those two pictures. But, yeah, just interesting. But yeah, the guys with the small rib cage, you're going to have to always hammer benching and all that stuff. Like, really, you're the guys who should always be like, the barbell bench is amazing, right? Because you're always going to have a longer range of motion. So the guys with the small rib cage should be the absolute last person on earth to be discarding the bench press. Yeah, I'm doing my curls to failure. So you'll see the one today. I actually did a rest pause on my last set of incline curls today. I hit failure the first two, then the third one I failed, but then I rested like 2 seconds and squeezed out one more rep. When volume is equated, I've always observed this, right? I've always noticed same arm growth when I do chins and isolations is the same volume. Oh, interesting. But yeah, Lane, I do my curls to failure. Generally, definitely right now. So today I finished up with band curls too, even though it's full body. I did 3 sets of incline curls to failure. And then I finished up the very last, after all my pullovers and stuff. I did 3 sets of bandy curls to failure. Hey Lane, follow my Facebook and Instagram. I post every single meal. All my grocery shopping, all of my meals get posted 7 days a week. You can literally see pictures of my food. Every day. So go to Facebook or Instagram. You can literally see what I ate yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before, for weeks on end. Food's all there. Actually, go down in the row and hit like on all of it. So there, all my social media is listed under every video. But just context, yesterday was a little chicken. It was brown rice, broccoli, peppers, watermelon, oats, almond butter, Greek yogurt, walnuts. I think pretty much what I ate. I had 1 avocado actually too. There was an avocado in my rice. I really like that combo. So like a little chicken, brown rice, sweet potato together, sometimes in an Instapot with some broccoli, and then toss an avocado or two. That's like a solid, super solid win right there. All right. I don't think you can go wrong. Isn't it cardio, Jason? Hey, how about you eat a motherfucking bag of dicks, Universe 6? Ooh. All right. It's called brisk walking. Yeah, we're not running or jogging at this body weight at my age. Maybe if I cut to 190, we'll think about it. This guy doesn't know what list cardio is, so he's basically a dumbass. So I'm not even going to argue, actually. Why am I getting angry when I can just get rid of him? Coach, I never saw your comment on Facebook how you respond to hateful comments. Yeah. Oh, that guy got worse and worse. I screenshotted his stuff. And then I told him his mom did again. And then the dude went ham. So that dude, you cooked that guy. Oh, he came back all angry. And I don't think he understands. Those are his real legal name. That's his profile is like 18 years old. He's got his real pictures and name on it. And he's literally saying crazy stuff on it. I screenshotted it in case he's smart enough to delete it. I'm going to relight him up. I'm going to start putting everybody on blast. Isn't adding reps increasing our volume? Yes. I'd never followed Kinobody. So for me to still follow Kinobody, I would have to hit the follow button the first time, right? I only saw your first response. Yeah. Oh, dude, the dude wrote all sort of nasty, kinky stuff about my mom and everything. Yeah, Kinobody followed me. I never followed Kinobody. He used to comment under my videos. But he did always give me props for my knowledge of strength training. He definitely did under my own videos. But no, I don't follow any fitness YouTubers. I don't watch anybody. He looked like a nasty, yeah. Trolls are weak men with high estrogen and prolactin. That's what I'm saying, man. But yeah, that's how I respond to everybody there. I'm always just like your mom. I got to remember to do that in these streams too and get rid of the clowns. Be like, so let me go back to the guy I just banned. Your mom's not doing cardio. Ooh, what you got now? You got nothing. You just got served. Right. So always just respond with your mom. It's a classic. What was the best era of YouTube fitness? Man, that about 12 years ago, do that. I would say when I first got on, man, up to about 2014, 2010 to 2014, it's probably the best. That's the OG golden era of YouTube fitness. It's the golden era right there. The golden era. But yeah, hopefully all these consultations come through. I had 2 possible consultations for this weekend. Guys who want to do one. One of them, he's done a few of them in the past. Hopefully they come through. Hey Jason, I tuned into the live. Love all your uploads and wisdom that you share. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you too, man. Thank you. Hey Coach, how are you? I'm doing okay. Yeah, August was doing this thing. 2020 was pretty good. A lot of new guys, yes, never. I suppose. Thank you for hitting that like, Tony. Appreciate it, guys. And we just getting this nice walk in. Getting this nice walk in. Yeah, I got to stay on top of this. Even on the non-training days, it's like, or the training days, I'm going to push it a little harder. I really can just wait later to eat. I overdid my food yesterday. I did all that cardio and I ate too much. I got hungry past my feed window. So we got to make up for it. Although I still probably, with that much fasted cardio, I still probably had a deficit. That's the crazy part. Coach, do you see that Cole Robinson betrayed all of the sugar diet people? Now he promoted high protein, low fat, 90s diet. Why do we care about these con men? Why do people follow the con men who keep promoting crazy fad diets and rotate through them? Why doesn't he? No, his followers betrayed themselves. Here's my take on it. I'm at a point where anyone stupid enough to follow these people and their diet advice and all these crazy named goofball diets deserve it. Let's just call it like it is, guys. They deserve to be conned. They deserve to get sick. They deserve everything that comes to them for following it. They deserve every bit of it. Let's just call that. I'm going to quit being nice about it. If somebody is dumb enough to do it, oh, this goofball's got a snake diet. We drink the snake juice. If you're dumb enough to buy in and do it, when you die from it, you deserve it. How's that? Man, I hate to be that way, but I'm starting to feel that way. As someone who's worked so hard over the years to just call out the scams and the nonsense, to watch everybody just keep falling for it, I'm like, maybe you're clearing out the gene pool. You know, how's the weather? It looks like it's going to rain on us pretty hard. It's back from Romania. I mean, I'm starting to really feel that way. I mean, realistically, as much as I'm like, man, we've got to stop these carnivore people, it's spreading. I also got to step back and go, man, if someone is really dumb enough to replace their broccoli with butter and it kills them, you kind of see where I'm going. I'm kind of like, did they deserve it? I mean, I get it if they're mentally handicapped, but then they shouldn't be making their own legal decisions. So, but then again, someone who's dumb enough to be convinced to replace their vegetables with butter probably shouldn't be they probably should have a guardian appointed anyways. If someone's at that level, they probably shouldn't be making their own legal decisions and personal choices. I mean, if they're really that dumb. I mean, if they're functioning at that, and I don't say dumb, they're not functioning at a functional level of an independent adult. Like, I just can't get my head around this. I don't know. It's frustrating. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just going to keep calling it out, though, in that way. Do my part, call the nonsense out, fight back against it, try to give people sane dietary advice. You know, he may have deleted his reply, but I screenshotted him. You know, but, well, he may have got banned. Like, someone may have reported him, or the YouTube's AI may have read all the stuff about the dog and licking my mom afterwards and all this stuff, you know. Their AI may have caught all that and just banned him. Like, might have given him a 72-hour ban, because he was pretty graphic. But, you know, the thing is, I'm going to keep fighting against this stuff, but there are times when I sometimes do get that mindset of going, like, why do I fight back against this nonsense? If people are this dumb, they deserve it. But maybe they don't. Maybe they're just that misled. You know? So I guess my perspective is, I could also make the case of, just because someone's dumb, do they really need to die? Should they have a heart attack? I don't know that that's the case. As frustrated as I get by it. So I then always flip back over to, I vent that frustration, but then I go, you know, we have to keep fighting against this crazy goofball zealot diet nonsense, because if we don't, it spreads out of control. People have to counter it and put out good information, say, hey, no, and remind people this is stupid, because they're in their own vacuums. Like, I noticed that. They're in their own little vacuums of circular logic, and no one in their circles, once they get roped into these diet groups, is telling them otherwise. So all they're hearing is, oh, the government and researchers all lie. They're all bought out by big pharma, and if you eat broccoli, you know, it's going to make you sick, and Pfizer and Johnson make money, you know, because that's all they're hearing. All this conspiracy theory stuff of why vegetables are bad, and that big pharma and big agriculture are funding them to make you sick, and they're in unison. Like, that's all they're hearing. And that the truth is that broccoli and red meat and bacon are the way. You know, so that's all they're hearing in their circles. But yeah, exactly, these conspiracies are dangerous, because these sort of conspiracies now have people literally eating butter in place of vegetables. Saying, oh, get rid of all the vegetables and let's just eat butter. And then when their blood work comes back horrible and their doctor freaks out, what happens? Their same circles are telling them, no, the blood work is fine. No, it's okay. The elevated LDL is okay. It's a good thing, actually. In fact, you need it for your brain health. Like, your brain has to have cholesterol to function, right? You know, So this is what they're telling them in their circles. They live in their echo chambers and they're growing more. Right, but these echo chambers are growing. Keeping in mind, some of these carnivore pages on Facebook and stuff have 100,000 followers. You know? Same with the crazy kooky fruitarian type vegans and stuff, because they're in my feed all day. Where they all believe that raw fruit is the only thing you should eat, and you shouldn't even be cooking food, you know, let alone eating meat. So, you know, you're seeing these crazy extreme fads and they build big followings. You know, it's pretty serious, really. It's kind of a big deal. You know, so the rest of us have to just put out sane information. And it's crazy. I had someone argue with me, that I had some other friends chime in who are researchers and have stuff who chimed in. One of the guys is trying to tell me, oh, that you're orthorexic, your obsession with clean eating and thinking there's bad foods. And it's like, are you guys serious? Yeah. Right, exactly. Sean Baker, a perfect example. Just remember your ice cream fitness 5x5 program. That was the first program I ever did and improved myself. Thanks, man. Hey, man, you're welcome. I'm glad you got a lot out of the program. You know, but it's crazy. We're at a point to where someone goes, oh, if you believe there's bad, but I'm like, these are not foods. We're now in a situation to where this is no longer conspiracy. This is literally open. Food science, I mean, exists. A lot of food scientists literally work for the junk food companies and publicly admit, like, this is not some behind the scenes thing. Yeah, I mean, it's competitive. We have to make the most hyper palatable foods. So they literally engineer foods to be hyper palatable so that you buy more of their food. It's not a conspiracy because they want to wipe everyone out. It's a conspiracy to sell more products, to compete with the other junk food companies to make the most hyper palatable addictive foods that they can, or food like substances. So I mean, it's at a point where you have to look at it and go, it's not even about saying foods are bad, it's saying ultra processed food like substances that are literally engineered for the purpose of having you eat more of them than the competitors. Yeah, I think we can stand there and go, this is a problem, I'm not eating this, this is bad. We can clearly classify that as bad. You know, it's just not a difficult concept. Robbie 18, Jason, I'm at 200 pounds, strict overhead press, and my ultimate gym goal right now is to get to a 225. Any tips? I mean, that's a big jump still. You're gonna have to just do patience, honestly. And how do I say this? Consistency and patience is gonna be the biggest tip, because otherwise, short of that, you need me to program for you. The only other tips I can give you are direct coaching or consultation level. Otherwise, all I have, because I'm not looking at your lift, I'm not looking at your programming, I don't have tons of stats and feedback. Like in a one-on-one, I have no tips. Now, if you want to do a consultation or coaching, hit me up. But otherwise, the only tip I can really give you is to stay consistent and keep working and keep gaining muscle. Like that combination healthy longevity diet and old school training methods. Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's interesting because the people will try to say, oh, you're pushing eating clean as orthorexia, but I'm like, no, go look at real orthorexia as it's discussed. It's debated if it's even real, by the way. It's not fully recognized as an eating disorder. But usually it's the obsession with purity of your food. So the person who they're thinking of as an orthorexic, I only eat organic, pesticide-free, non-GMO, like down this list. Whereas I'm just saying, look, let's eat single ingredient whole foods, guys, come on, right? Eat a wide diversity of fruits and vegetables, lean meats, whole grains. You know, it's in my case, I'm not excluding or telling anyone to exclude food groups. I'm not telling you not to eat fat or carbs or animals or plants or any category, you know. I think all these, in fact, I push all these categories. You know, we should be eating whole grains. We should be eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, lean meat, low-fat dairy, right? We should be eating these things. These should be the primary foods that we eat. And junk foods really, or cheap meals, should be for special occasions. Right. Eating as much fiber and vegetables as you can. And I kind of get miffed. I get people that are like, well, fiber's not, I'm not telling you to fiber supplement. Eat as much fiber as you can from whole foods, you know? But yeah, the healthy longevity diet, the old school training, and then fasted cardio. Yeah, that's what I'm pushing, guys, you know? Robbie says, thanks. I'll make sure to stay consistent. I will get it eventually. The time will pass. I mean, that's the thing. That's a lofty goal. I mean, all things considered, Robbie, I don't know your body weight and your chemical enhanced status, but realistically, a 225 strict press is a pretty serious goal. You know? I mean, you're stronger than the, I don't want to say average, I was going to say smarter than the average bear, you know. Or you're definitely stronger than the average gym rat to be putting up numbers like that, to work towards it. Caveman Lewis says, looking lean, thank you, Caveman. So, you know, realistically, you have to accept if you're not just a genetic freak. You know, that's a lofty goal. You're a big natty guy, you're 6'2", 250, okay. Not as lofty of a goal for you. Yeah, dude, honestly, okay, this is totally different. Dude, you're natty, but you're 6'2", 250. Dude, just keep training, you're gonna get it. Yeah. No, you already hit a 200. With that height and weight, you already hit a 200, you'll get there, yeah. In your case, my only advice, keep doing what you were doing and be patient. Now, you come in here and tell me you're a 5'8" guy who's 185 pounds, a little different. No, dude, you're a big dude. You're gonna get it. Bye. Just literally keep doing what you're doing right now, and just be consistent. Whatever got you to the 200 will get you to the 225. Totally different ballgame. But even then, you know, 225 strict press for a drug-free guy is nothing to scoff at. You know, I don't think. Yeah, we can't scoff at that. That's pretty serious. I'm gonna start messing with more supine grip band pull aparts. I want to see if that will open my shoulders up more the way that I want, by the way. Side note. I did some warming up this morning for my squats. All right. Do start doing those every day a little bit. Along with those really long range of motion pull-ups and dips. Chad says, any difference on overhead press between leaning back and driving the head underneath the bar? Well, yeah, it's a different movement. There's a big difference. I don't know what you're asking me. It's a completely different movement at that point, almost. Coach is on the road to the sub 200. Yeah, you gotta keep the appetite in check. So that's another reason too. I have to do all the whole foods because my appetite is so insane. I gotta get good at capping that feed window. You know, to making sure I don't start too soon. Always wait till noon. You know, so that we can keep the calories in check, but just all the fasted cardio just works wonders too. Just got to stay after it. All right, just stay after it. I had a friend too telling me, if you read Lyle's latest stuff, man, you could do the GLPs or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do any drugs for this. And the reason, I always get people who are like always suggesting, you know, drugs for this cut. And I'm at a point where I'm like, there's a rebound to all of that. I want to just do this cut and do it with the sheer cardio and the fasted cardio, because then I can keep the calories at a certain point with no rebound, meaning all I have to do is remove the deficit from the cardio. And at that point, then the muscle memory kicks in for legs or whatever, anything I've lost. Coach S. Ryan, how many steps do you walk a day? I don't know. The problem with that question, because it's not a set number of hours. So, right, if assuming about 8,000 per hour, some days I only walk an hour, some days I walk 4 hours. So what's the number? We don't have an average. Some days I'm gonna do more bike. I haven't been doing the bike the last few days because I've been walking more, but I'm gonna do the bike coming up for the second one. So then the bike replaces the walking. So my goal is amount of time. I like 2 hours of fasted lists on training days. I try to get 3 on non-training, but I've been hitting 4 lately. So it's not a question of step count. You know, every time someone says, well, you could buy this product, then I'm like, you're free to buy me any product that you want. You think I should try out, guys? I have an Amazon wish list. You can contact me and add it to it, but I'm not buying products. You know, if you guys think I should do it, you would buy it for me, or else you don't really think I should do it. I always respond with that because people chime in with that. You could get a smartwatch. I'm like, well, if you think that I need a smartwatch, then buy me one. All right. So it was a rough month, man. I just had to come up with an extra 500 in my rotation. A tree fell on my car. My insurance covered all of it and covered my rental, but it's still a $500 deductible. Sucks. Coach, good video about 0.4 fasting for protein card. Yeah, thank you. And I think that's just sound advice. And I think a lot of guys may not even need to track calories with that long term. I'm not going to discuss politics, Peppermint. Right? No, he shouldn't buy that at all. We shouldn't be spending tax money on anything. We need less taxes. All right, so done. There's my solution to politics. Should the government do something? No. Quit spending money. All right. All right. All right, so next, but we should drop that. That's not truly fitness. It delves into politics. I'm trying to read that. I know it was a jokey comment, but we're trying to avoid as much of that as possible. So, yeah, I think that, that sort of basic advice will keep people healthy, keep them where they need to be. People keep bringing up, though, that every time they assign fat macros, I've had that happen to some of the followers, even for clients, well, the guys want to fill it with saturated fat. I'm like, well, tell them not to. I mean, it's not that hard. As long as you point out to people that saturated fat doesn't really have benefits to humans, like there's no actual purpose in consuming it, push them towards clean fats. And that was my point with that fat recommendation. But yeah, you'll be objectively worse off if you fill that fat recommendation with more saturated fat instead of carbohydrate. They would have been better just sticking to carbohydrate and lower fat. But if you can fill that 0.4 with healthy fats, there's absolutely benefits. Do you think loudspeakers are better in a powerlifting gym, headphones or no music? I don't know. Entirely personal preference. Powerlifting gyms are going to tend to have speakers playing music anyways. Maritim says, hello. Well, hello to you, Maritim. Coach, tell us the downside of consuming excess fructose per day. How are you getting? I need you to be specific. Are you consuming it in what form? Because that matters. So, okay, excess fructose. You can't really get excess fructose from fruit by itself, so we can ignore that. But we need to be clear on that. Excess refined fructose, the downside, you absorb it in your upper intestine. Your liver has to process it through the same pathway that it processes alcohol. So what's the downside to your liver to drinking too much alcohol? Well, too much fructose has an identical effect on the liver, right? Elevates triglycerides, you get non-alcoholic fatty liver, so on and so forth. Yeah, you're not going to get excess fructose from fruit because of the way you're going to process it different in the digestion. Just stumbled across your live stream. Hope you have a great, good day. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You have a good day, too. Jason, what are some of your favorite fruits? Oh, man, that's a long list. Watermelon, cantaloupe, cherries, definitely near the top. Right? I could give you, those are my top 3 for sure. I love frozen cherries, too. Frozen cherries are good. Mix some frozen cherries. Remember that? I used to do that, the frozen cherries with Greek yogurt and some almond butter. Man, like that's a win right there. Coach, do you run coconuts? No, I don't recommend coconuts actually. See, that's one plant food I don't generally advocate. And coconut oil itself is just as bad as butter. There's plenty of data on it. It's horrible for you. All right. So I place coconut oil into a clear junk food category just like butter for the exact same reasons. The impact on LDL and inflammation is just as bad. All right. Now I'll have someone chime in, LDL doesn't cause heart disease. And it's like, yes, it objectively does. And sadly, we just saw that displayed in the pro-keto, pro-saturated fat research. Again, actually have a question. I've been problem staying hydrated during long runs, half marathon. I'm still going to find good hydration guides. Just take any combination of salt, potassium, magnesium. So you could certainly do salts. Have you tried dairy? Have you seen the research on hydration and exercise in milk? It's phenomenal. If you're lactose intolerant, get a lactose-free milk. The hydration is amazing on that. And you can still add your electrolytes to it, your other stuff. There were some studies on just straight milk post-exercise that showed a faster return of hydration status in the sports drinks that they were comparing it to in some studies. So that's an option. But I mean, realistically, you also are going to need simple carbohydrate in there too. You get any form of glucose powder to help facilitate some of that too. Never heard about that, only the normal electrolyte packets. I'll definitely investigate. Man, that was a memorable time those days. You were bulking up and pre-sugar and frozen cherries. Yeah. Yep. Man. I get under 200, that's going to be so different and funny. Because I was up to like 240, hitting that 605 camber bar squat. I was like 245 actually, hitting that 605 squat. But now we're going to drop down, keep going down. That road to under 200 happening. You know, not many views in this live. Jason, your diet is pretty close to the Mediterranean style health. Yeah, I mean, really it is. I mean, I'm not doing the olives, but I do avocado and almond butter and stuff. So it's really the same fat. It's the same monounsaturated fat. And I think people need to remember that when we start looking at avocados. It's the same fat that's in the olive oil. It's identical, right? So that particular fatty acid is what's in there. Makes up the bulk of it. So it's that oleic acid. So yeah, I mean, I do the avocados, whole grains, lots of vegetables, lean meat, fat-free dairy, you know. Although I'm going hard on the fruit, watermelons are on sale. I ate a whole watermelon, just made a whole one today. But that's what people should be eating. Lean animal source, whole grains, tubers, roots, vegetables, lots of fruit, nuts, seeds, you know, low-fat dairy. Like that is what we will all thrive on. And you need a good balance of carbs, fat, protein. And you need a wide diversity of plant matter and fiber types. Unbelievable this needs to be said in 20. I mean, but the fringe diets are all out. Whereas in stuff like all the data, yeah, like the Mediterranean diet just does so well in all the studies. And you look at it, it's like, oh, it's just because it's all really balanced. It's, you know, legumes too. Yeah, absolutely. Legumes are good. Don't buy into this silly anti-nutrient stuff. That's been so debunked by the researchers. They're like, this is crazy. Like, they're literally like, shouldn't even be a topic. So, yeah, legumes. So, you know, but most legumes are very, very high in fiber. Like, fiber is your friend, and that's the crazy part of these anti-fiber people. But then they're like, what current total rate fiber? I'm like, because you've damaged your body. If you can't handle large amounts of fiber, you have damaged your body through horrible diet. So now you have to repair it and build it up, because you can't just avoid the fiber. You're going to be unhealthy and sick. So you have to fix your gut, and you're going to have to build up your ability to handle more and more fiber. If you don't, it's going to be a problem. I get that for endurance athletes, that might be the exception. But at that point, we're now taking an extreme sport of saying, okay, the endurance athlete can't handle as much fiber, but they're also burning through a hell of a lot of energy. You look very healthy. Thank you, Charles. Trying to. That's the idea. We turned 49 this year, so the goal, work on the classic bodybuilder type physique, keep elite lifts, but none of it needs to compromise my health. You know, train my ass off in the gym, and my training is hard, but the diet's got to be healthy. It's got to be on point. We do cardio. I eat no junk food. Oats, legumes, and yogurt has done my stomach a ton of good. There you go. Especially like that combination with the oats, right? With the yogurt and kefir. So think about that in terms of your gut health. You have all that insoluble fiber versus soluble, both have benefits, but really, man, that soluble fiber and all those oats, plus those live and active cultures, right? That's a winning combination. Again, build that healthy gut biome up. You ever overtrain on accident since your training is so high? No, not right now. I'm not having any symptoms of overtraining. The time when I had symptoms of overtraining when I was doing the 7-day max effort work, I had signs of overtraining. When I was taking no days off for months, I combined them overnight, oats plus wheat germ and sprinkle of nuts. Yeah, that works. I like to do too, oats with yogurt and then some nuts. I like walnuts in mine. Not necessarily for taste, it's not the best tasting, but in terms of just quality nutrition, right? Throw some walnuts. I keep walnuts in my freezer. Throw some walnuts in there, the oat and yogurt. Get a good balance. I mean, you're not getting vitamin C or any of that, but you're getting a lot of other stuff. And again, all of us, if we're eating enough fruits and vegetables, our vitamin C is beyond our absorption limit anyways. All right. Yeah, walnuts are great. Again, make sure you're high on omega-3s. That one supplement I do is my extra strength fish oil is one of my few supplements. That plus some walnuts every day. We're in a good spot. All right. But no, I'm not getting any overtraining signs right now. In fact, my lifts are doing pretty well, at least on the upper body. The lower body, obviously, squats have regressed, but that's the cardio. But they don't feel overtrained. It's simply a case of I might be losing some leg muscle. Yeah, it's gonna rain, Vino. That's why I want to get this walk done, get a shower, then I need to do. Yeah, I still play the guitar. I plan on keeping that up for forever. I think sumo deadlifts, front squats, and good mornings would be a good lower tip. My question would be, why are you specifically choosing those? Like, why are you choosing the front squat over the back squat? And I like front squats. I think they're a great exercise. But unless you have a really good rack position, you're going to get better out of the back squat. Because most people's rack position limits them on the front squat, not their legs. Don't get me wrong, I like front squats. But if I've got to choose between a front and a back squat, I'm going to take the back squat. But instead of, why do the sumo and the good morning if your goal then is hamstring and posterior chain? You could get those same muscles from two movements with a back squat and a conventional deadlift. But I'm not saying your setup is wrong. I still think it's a good combination. I'm not going to knock it. I think it's reasonable, right? Working the pretty the lower body pretty effectively between those three movements. Yeah. I tell my shoulder abilities better, I can't really do the rack position on front squats right now either. I used to do them. I like front squats, right? I like front squats. All right, we're at 55. I'm gonna make another little round here, then start making my way back towards my house. We'll get the hour here, and then I'm gonna get some stuff done. Do a bike session. I can't do, yeah. My shoulder's just still right now with the range of motion until I continue to refine that and work on it. I can't really get a proper rack on a front squat. I used to be able to do them with a full grip, right? Not the little fingertips. I used to be able to get my thumb over the bar and do them. That was good times. My front rack is fine, and the back squat tends to involve my back too much because of long legs. All right. Well, you just need a different position then. But, you know. But I mean, again, I'm going to tend to always go with the back squat in that case. I always see the front squat as a supplemental lift to it. But realistically, if I'm going to set that personal bias aside, I think you can develop a pretty complete lower body with those three if you need to. My elbow doesn't bend back enough, right? For me, I can't get my elbows high enough, right? Cardio machine, that's me. Rock and roll machine, I'm an American teenage raider. Don't come in. Yeah, sorry guys, the Donna song popped in my head when you said the machine. Rock and roll machine. All right. Now you guys are getting real coach. So internet perception of me versus everyone who knows me. In real life, everyone who knows me knows that I break out into random songs all the time in the middle of conversations. So, you know. Could you do it with the wrist the other way around? What? What are you talking about? No. What, you talking like a overhand? No, dude. You think your thumb's gonna hold 300 pounds? You've lost your mind. Nope. I've been doing a lot of shoulder mobility work and stretches as of late because I realize how poor my range of motion has gotten. I'm gonna mess more with now. Well, I'm doing all the dips and then my pull-ups now, doing the closer grip pull-ups so I can get my chin over the bar, doing the dead hang on every rep. I feel like I need to do that, and I'm gonna start messing with more pull-aparts again, but I feel like a normal pull-apart doesn't do what I want, so I'm messing with like the underhand ones. I did a set this morning warming up for squats. I'm gonna start doing them every day. I took one of my bands and put it in my office. So I'm gonna start doing the supine grip pull-aparts and see if that helps also for me, just to open all of that up, you know. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna start heading back towards my house. Someone's actually stayed connected for the hour. See what happens when I get to my street. It'll be like, you shall not pass. And it's just the whole bridge is gonna collapse under the connection. I don't know when I'm gonna upload guitar videos again. This is a fitness channel. So, there's some on my Facebook still up there. I think the last one I put up on Facebook, I've got one of me doing Layla, and then I've got me doing that whole intro to Thunderstruck, right? All that hammer on and pull off stuff he does. I'm adding front presses to my program, realize how bad my mobility has become. Yeah, I mean, I can't overhead press right now, so I'd love to be able to again. So that's one reason I'm working on all that. Camber bar decline bench could replace dips, maybe, but dips are so good, man, because you move your body, right? It's just so much, it's athletic. I like exercise where you move your body through space. But in terms of, yes, the angle on the pecs, sure, camber bar decline could do it. But then it's not as safe. I mean, you now need real spotters, and I feel like if you're really going to come down to injury prone, I think that is going to be more injury prone and require definite spotters and stuff than the dip does, right? I can't, good morning. It hurts a lot. Any tips on how to start doing it? No, Peppermint, because it hurts doesn't tell me anything. What hurts? Your left testicle, your wrist, your back, what's hurting? You got to be a little bit specific. Because I don't know what it is. So I'm going to say probably your form is probably really bad. Well, your back's hurting. Your back's pretty big. Do you know which part of your back is hurting and which style of good morning are you doing? You need to specify, I'm doing a high bar, straight bar good morning, and specifically my lumbar hurts. You guys got to work with me a little better, man. This is going to cut out. I'm at 1 bar. I'm in a dead zone. We may lose the stream. Someone as a coach, yeah, I have to deal with this every day, and I'm just like, draw me a picture. Go find an anatomy, put a red dot where it hurts, and send me the picture. I have to do that a lot to my clients. Are you flexing your diet today with all the barbecue? I'm not doing any of that. I've got to make up for that deductible. I just had to pay out of pocket for a tree falling on my car that I had to fix. So I ain't got time for days off. There's no celebration till coach gets his money right. Right? There's no days off. So, all right, guys. But we're about to wind this down. We'll get a bike cardio here later. So I love you guys and gals, and I'll talk to you next time.